kind of take over my platform and my post.
But in a situation like this, what could she possibly do?
At first, Nicole started trying to stem the tide herself by reporting threatening comments and banning her attackers from her Facebook page.
And then I enlisted a friend of mine who I work with to help ban. And then my husband helped ban because I had to go to work that night. And the first day, I believe there were over 1,500 users within that first 24 hours that were banned. Later that evening, I was like, I can't do this on my own.
That's when the cavalry arrived.
My name is Dr. Todd Whalen. I'm a children's pediatrician. The most trusted and influential recommended vaccines are people's local healthcare providers that have soft targets. They don't have the resources to deal with this, like I did with some patients, and they don't need to drop drugs.
A few years ago, Todd and a colleague started something called Shots Heard around the world. A play on words, because of course shot means vaccine in America.
Shots Heard has a closed Facebook group, and attacks are just starting through this network. They ride out on their own with a small group of maybe 5 or 10 people, and just call for vaccine advocates to attack. And that can squelch an attack before it blows up into something huge.
So essentially, this group of doctors and Lord of the Rings fans came to the defense of the fellow healthcare workers.
It's with our group, so we always say it's kind of like the signal fires are walking door and the riders are road to your aid.
When disinformation floods a page, Shots Heard flooded WhatsApp with evidence-based research about why vaccines work. Nicole explains how they helped her.
I allowed one person to kind of come in as my admin, and she then brought in other people to help. So that I could actually, this was 24 hours a day for 2 weeks, coming from all parts of the country. And even call out saying, oh, it's 3 a.m. in Ohio, let's go fight for us with comments and what's up. Unfortunately, I didn't get lit up because I had people that were on different posts banning them.
It's very much like that. We would be all around the world, so it's really just attacking 24/7. Now the rescues are being 24/7. And anti-vaccine groups, like any bully, don't like to push back, so they go on and find a leader with a softer targets.
With the help of Shots Heard, Nicole kept videos up, the abuse and violence down. Eventually, the attack was down. Despite what happened, she continued.
My first post about vaccines after that attack, I feel like my heart flowed. Without a doubt, and because I have built up this armor and I have made it to the other side of the dark. I'm able to kind of just, delete, ban, move on.
A really interesting part of Nicole's story is when it happened. This was at the start of 2020.
Poor diet, wasn't exercising, so you imagine going from that to cycling up Europe on a bike and wasn't drinking, eating really well, meeting all these amazing people. It was just life changing for me, and it kind of led to a passion and a talent for cycling that eventually led to me becoming a full-time professional athlete and going on to set world records and doing world record attempts and stuff like that. So the bike really kind of sorted me out and gave me a lot of focus in my life.
And so that is now, as you say, you're a professional elite cyclist.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky now for the last couple of years to be, full-time at this. Cycling is essentially my job. It's what I get paid to do, and I've got sponsors and stuff that support me to do that. And yeah, I'm very lucky. I found something that I love. And, that was, getting into cycling, it was never because I grew up and passionate about cycling or wanted to be a cyclist or anything like that. I was just really getting into cycling because it was something that I thought was going to help me and help me turn my life around. But just over time, just by doing it and doing it and doing it, I just kind of fell in love with the bike, and it became, one of my greatest passions in life, really.
And it's not been without its hazards.
No. There's been many.
You've got some epic stories.
Yes. I think it's quite interesting because there's probably been more setbacks and more failures and more things went wrong than went right. And I think that's one of the reasons that people like it. And the thousands of people that have followed and supported me online over the last 5 or 6 years, one of the reasons why they've probably connected with me is because I've not got a story of huge success. I've had a couple of things that went right, a couple of things that I've done really well, but most of it has been adversity and setbacks and car crashes crashes and accidents and time in hospital. And I think one of the things that people have admired is that, no matter how many things I've been through, all the car crashes and accidents, I somehow managed to go back in the bike every single time. And I don't know why it is, but a lot of people seem to just really resonate with that. It means a lot to people.
Well, and of course you've raised a lot of money for charity. What's your total at the moment?
Oh, I don't know what the total is. It's got to be in the tens of thousands. But the one we just done recently was quite amazing. We just raised just under £10,000 for Arthritis Action. So I think that was really amazing as well. When you can, whenever actually we were able to succeed in what we were trying to do. But I think a lot of people respected the effort that I put in, and the effort that the team put in. Doing 300 miles a day is a distance that a lot of people can't really get their head around. So to do that, just 3 months after a major crash in January where I had, over 10 broken bones, I think a lot of people respected that. So we never got to finish this time, but that's the good thing about raising money for charity. One of the reasons why I try to keep the charity fundraising a big part of my cycling, because when you go up and do a world record attempt and it's not successful, if you can still raise 10 grand for charity, then it makes it feel a bit more worthwhile. And if you're just doing it without the charity fundraising element, then you can feel a bit flat after it. And I do still feel a bit flat after it, but it does make me feel a wee bit better that knowing that we did still raise a lot of money for charity as well.
And in terms of your kind of mental well-being now, how are you?
Aside from, the always setback that I've just had last week, it's feeling a bit flat about that, I'm genuinely great. I've done a lot of good things in the last 2 or 3 years. I've managed to kind of stop drinking alcohol, which was a big thing for me in the last few years. I'm just coming up for 3 years sober this year, so I feeling really good. Obviously cycling a lot, good diet, good nutrition, just trying to do it as much as I can. So yeah, genuinely I'm very happy, very healthy, and the bike and the healthy lifestyle is a big part of that.
Oh, well, that is absolutely great to hear. Josh, thanks very much for speaking to us this morning. Anne, I think Josh has proven what a good choice he was in terms of you giving him a shout out, yeah?
His speech is brilliant. He's such an inspiration. The fact that he can get on that bike again after all he's been through is just amazing. I can't wait to see him on the 26th of July. His knee's healed, but make sure it's healed.
You've been told, Josh, you've been told. Make sure you're in good nick. Thanks very much to both of you. Really nice to speak to you. That's Josh Quigley there, and Anne Hammond, who wanted a song for Josh because she is so full of admiration for everything that he's achieved. And that's what our Song for You feature is all about. The people that have impressed you, have touched you, have supported you, that you feel deserve a shout out on the radio. Do get in touch. 80295 is our text number, or you can email k@bbc.co.uk. Roisin, really?
High rates of interest. The financial watchdog, the FCA, had warned that rolling over from one doorstep loan to another was harmful to borrowers. Debt groups had raised concerns that loans had been given to customers who could not afford to repay them.
We have been snacking a bit more as lockdown began to ease.
Greggs the baker says there's been a significant pickup in sales as lockdown eased. More people returned to the high street as non-essential shops reopened. That helped Greggs' sales move sharply higher than a year ago, though they're still a little lower than where they were 2 years ago. Greggs says it expects profits will recover to pre-pandemic levels this year. It has 2,000 stores across the country. It's heavily reliant on the number of shoppers on the high street and also on office workers returning to work in town and city centres, and also in business parks and office complexes into which Greggs has been expanding in recent years. Also today, the posh truck seller Hotel Chocolat says its sales have soared even when shops were closed in lockdown. It says recent sales are 1/5 higher than 2 years ago as more customers went online. It was also boosted by the time of Mother's Day and Easter. The company says it will return the further money it got from government to help pay its workers' wage bill.
Now, some safety concerns remain, with some of the rolling stopped on some of the railway lines.
Yes, train services are two of Britain's biggest rail companies continued to be disrupted today after cracks were found in some high-speed trains. GWR, which runs long-distance services out of London Paddington to the west of England and southern Wales, is advising passengers not to travel. It says a significant number of long-distance services have been cancelled, including routes to Bristol, Swansea and Penzance. Tickets can be rebooked for another date this week or refunded. LNER, which runs services from London to Leeds, York and Newcastle, says there could be a number of cancellations over the week. Passengers should check before they travel. It's not running any trains between Edinburgh and Aberdeen and Inverness. They're being replaced by coaches.
News this morning of another cyber attack, this time on an oil pipeline.
Yes, and that forced the US government to use emergency powers to keep fuel supplies flowing on Sunday. There was a cyber attack on one of the US's most important pipelines, the Colonial Pipeline, which carries almost half the fuel used on the east coast of the US. It transports fuel from the refineries on the Gulf Coast and helps supply customers and motorists in cities like Atlanta, Washington, New York, and in states including Tennessee, Louisiana, and Kentucky. It's only shut down on Friday after hackers took control of some computer data and demanded a ransom payment for its release. The company gave no indication when full service will resume.
The popularity of drones being used to achieve deliveries. Declan, more news on that today.
Yes, the Royal Mail was to try out drones to deliver parcels to the Isles of Scilly. They can deliver health and safety equipment, COVID-19 testing kits and other items. The drones will carry up to 100 kilograms of mail at a time and deliver them to the airport at St Mary's. The packets can then be broken up into smaller drones and will take the smaller consignments onto other delivery points around the islands.
Declan Curry with our business roundup. We thank you, and we'll have more for you right after this.
This is LBC News.
Global Player is the official LBC app. Download it from your app store now for free or go to globalplayer.com.
And they'll get a 7-day money-back guarantee to make sure they love it. Play us out, boys. Can you buy a car that's guaranteed to leave you happy? 'Cause yeah, you can.
When you're serving Joe Freezy, but your drink choice is blazing. Wait, who are you?
I was a kid interrupting a family dinner with a fruity bottle of Robinsons.
Oh, okay. Where were we? When you're trying to learn French, but your thirst is unquenched. When you're out loving life with the sun beaming down, or you're dancing to the radio, there's nothing sexy to be heard. When your water tastes like water.
Water with Robinsons.
The Everyday Essentials pack from Trusted PPE, containing 20 surgical face masks and 10 50 millilitres of hand sanitizer. Because getting back to normal means getting there safely. Just $9.99 plus $4.95 postage from trustedppe.co.uk. Order before 4 p.m. weekdays for next day delivery. Rated excellent on Trustpilot.
In 1975, Vanguard was founded on a revolutionary idea to help more people become successful investors.
People told their friends.
And they told their
friends.
Now, Vanguard has 30 million investors worldwide, and it's a Which recommended provider for investment platforms once again in 2020. Join us today. Vanguard, value to investors. When investing, your capital is at risk.
LBC News. Weather.
breezy with sunshine and showers for much of the UK. The rain will be heaviest in the north and west, with perhaps some hail and thunder. Dry this afternoon for many parts of southeast England, though, with highs of 17 degrees. Those showers will continue in the west overnight, with some longer spells of rain, turning chilly inland, with some frost in central and eastern areas, and lows down to around 6. Another day of sunshine and showers expected tomorrow, but heavy rain in places again.
We covered the latest violence in Jerusalem a little earlier on our programme this morning. We're just putting in some more numbers that are available. Israeli police have been firing tear gas, they use stun grenades and rubber-coated bullets, clashing with Palestinian stone throwers in part of Jerusalem today. A series of confrontations that was always going to be problematic for today. 215 Palestinians were hurt in the violence at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. 153 Palestinians have been admitted to hospital. This is according to Palestinian medics. 4 of the injured were said to be in serious conditions. Police have said that 9 of their officers were hurt, including one who needed to be taken to hospital. His injuries were so severe. The confrontation, of course, in the sacred compound after days of mounting tensions between Palestinians in the old city of Jerusalem, in the area that Palestinians call around the monument called the Al-Aqsa Mosque. We'll keep an eye on that story and develop it for you as it goes through the day. Let's just pause now to bring you the sports roundup. Steve Forbes can do that. Steve?
West Brom have been relegated from the Premier League after suffering a 3-1 loss at Arsenal yesterday. Manager Sam Allardyce has never gone down with the team he's coached. He says it is too early to say whether he'll stay at the Baggies or not.
I won't answer whether I am or I'm not staying, okay? Sorry about that, but I just want to answer that at this time, after the disappointment of the situation that we're in and the disappointment of obviously losing tonight.
Tonight, Fulham need to win if they want to stave off relegation for another week. They're up against Burnley at Craven Cottage. West Ham's hopes of making next season's Champions League took a battering after they lost to Everton yesterday, while Man City will have to wait a little longer to celebrate winning the Premier League after Man United came from behind to beat Aston Villa 3-1. The government is due to hold talks with UEFA today about moving the Champions League final to the UK. Manchester City and Chelsea are scheduled to play the match in Istanbul, but Turkey's now on the red travel list. With just 2.5 months to go until the Tokyo Olympics, a new poll claims that 60% of people in Japan want it cancelled. The capital's in a coronavirus state of emergency until at least the end of the month, and the country's vaccine rollout is well behind many Western nations. And experts from the University of Cambridge claim that cricketers should be using bats made out of bamboo instead of willow wood. They say it's stronger, more sustainable and cheaper to produce, but the rules say that bats have to be made from wood and bamboo is classed as a grass.
There you go. Didn't know that. Learned something today. Let's stay with football, shall we? Or return to football and zoom in on Derby County. After they and Wayne Rooney avoided championship relegation by the skin of their teeth in Mr. Rooney's first managerial job, attention is now turning to securing the financial future of one of the English Football League's founder clubs. More on this from Isaac Johnson, reporting from outside Hyde Park this morning.
It's not just on the pitch where there's been difficulty here this season. Wages have been paid late, Derby have endured a transfer embargo, and the EFL is appealing an independent review which initially cleared the club of breaching spending rules. One takeover's already fallen through, and questions remain over a separate deal which could see the Rams sold to Spanish boxing promoter Eric Alonso. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire has told us avoiding relegation on Saturday will work in their favour though.
I think it's critical for a variety of reasons. So Derby generate nearly £30 million a year in revenue as a club in the Championship. That potentially could have gone down by about a third had they been relegated to League One. So from the perspective of Mel Morris trying to sell Derby County, he's selling a club which is making more money coming in through the door.
Fans gathered here to celebrate survival on Saturday, and club owner Mel Morris apologised to some of them for the season they'd had. Lifelong supporter Paddy Breslin is calling for reassurances that the club will be okay long term. He's told us whilst avoiding a drop into League One is a big deal, it's tainted by the uncertainty behind the scenes.
In the moment, you celebrate like crazy. If I'm really honest, I'm still more apprehensive about what's going on behind closed doors. I want to know that the club has got a long-term future, and I don't think it's guaranteed at this point.
Boss Wayne Rooney says the off-field problems need sorting as quickly as possible, as they can't have another season like this, as it won't end well. But for now, Rams fans can at least breathe easy that their club lives to fight another day in the second tier. Isaac Johnson, LBC, Derby.
The headlines are next.
This is LBC News.
When you're serving Joe Freezy, but your drink choices are lazy.
Let there be fruit.
Wait, who are you?
I'm just a kid interrupting a family dinner with a fruity bottle of Robinson's.
Oh, okay. Where were we? When you're trying to learn French, but your thirst is unquenched.
Let there be fruit.
When you're out loving life with the sun beaming down, or you're dancing to the radio and there's nothing zesty to be found. When your water tastes like water.
Let there be fruit. Liven up your water with Robinson's.
Gary bought a trampoline online with Visa, so he has protection if his card is used fraudulently.
Now Gary's feeling pretty confident. Confident enough to try a slam dunk from his trampoline. Oh, Gary. Visa's zero liability helps protect you from fraud. We just can't protect you from yourself. Search Visa How You Pay Matters to find out more. Commercial and anonymous prepaid cards excluded. Responsible card use required. Contact your bank for T&Cs.
That's the soothing sound of the barbershop quartet that have found the better way to buy a quality car from Kazoo. All Kazoo cars pass a thorough 300-point inspection, come with a 90-day warranty, roadside assistance, and a 7-day money-back guarantee. That's one whole week to make sure they love it. Can you buy a quality car that's guaranteed to leave you happy? Kazoo, yeah you can. Find the credit card you were looking for. Quick check, won't affect your score. See if it's a yes, no need to guess with an Ocean credit card.
With a credit limit up to £1,500. Check if you're eligible for an Ocean credit card. It only takes a minute. Intelligent Lending Limited is a credit broker. Capital One, the exclusive lender. Representative 39.9% APR variable. No annual fee. Get a credit limit of up to £1,500. Visit ocean.co.uk.
LBC News. The latest news headlines. Next.
I am Eleanor. I am 7 years old. I have brittle bones, but I don't stop me from doing what I can. I like to play with my brother. I enjoy it when I sometimes play with my friends. Most of all, I love dinner with my mum.
The little things can mean so much. That's why McCain Helping Family Fund supports 150,000 families with disabled or seriously ill children like Eleanor's, so they can enjoy the little moments that matter. McCain and Family Fund. We are a family.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC News.
where the news never stops. This is LBC News.
From Global's newsroom, it's 11 o'clock. I'm Martin Stanford. Good morning to you. Here's the very latest. Sir Keir Starmer has made changes to his top team after Labour's poor performance at the polls on Thursday. Rachel Reeves is now Shadow Chancellor. Annalisa Dodds becomes party chair. Boris Johnson will give the go-ahead to indoor pints and restaurant meals when he announces the latest lifting of COVID restrictions in England at a press conference in Downing Street at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The measures will come in from 5 o'clock from next Monday, of course. There is still traffic disruption on GWR and LNER trains this morning. Cracks were found in some high-speed carriages. The government is urging the companies to minimise disruption. In sport, Andy Murray's been confirmed on the entry list for next month's Queen's Club Championships. That's the traditional warm-up series ahead of Wimbledon. It'll be the first time Murray has been competed in the singles at Queen since 2018.
LBC News. Weather.
Breezy with sunshine and showers. The rain will be heaviest in the north and west. Highs of 17. I'm Rebecca Swash. I've got a full forecast in the next 15 minutes.
LBC News. Travel.
A number of trains remain cancelled on the East Coast Main Line into and out of King's Cross Station in London because of safety checks after faults were found in some of their trains. Buses replaced trains between Edinburgh Waverley and both Inverness and Aberdeen, and a number of train services are cancelled between Paddington Station in London and parts of the west of England and Wales. On the roads in London, Parliament Street is closed to install barriers ahead of the state opening of Parliament, and Hertford Road in Edmonton is closed in both directions because of an unsafe building. I'm Russell Holding. Your next update is in 20 minutes here on LBC News.
This is LBC News.
It's 2.5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Here's our main story. Former economist Rachel Reeves says she is honoured to be taking over as Shadow Chancellor following a revamp of Labour's top team. Annalisa Dodds was sacked from that role to become party chair, replacing Angela Rayner, who's been appointed Shadow First Secretary of State. The party suffered major losses in last week's local elections and lost the Hartlepool by-election. But the Labour MP, Chris Bryant, says there were some wins.
Here in the Ronda, we took the seat off by Cymru. Labour's managed to get 30 of the 60 seats. That's the best result we've ever had here. We won 3 out of the 4 police and crime commissioners here in Wales. We've won mayoralties up and down the country. We've won some council seats in places that we've never had.
Well, it's a job for the politicians, I suppose, from all sides of the various arguments to try and spin and tell the story the best they can. Brave attempt by Chris Bryant there. Political editor Thea Washwood has literally heard it all over the last 4 days. I imagine every particular possible thing. It was a poor showing for Labour and rather a cack-handed change there.
It was odd what happened with this reshuffle because we heard, of course, from Steve Reid, the Shadow Community Secretary, on Friday, Keir Starmer himself, about the fact that they were taking responsibility for what Keir Starmer was taking responsibility for what happened in Hartlepool and across the country in those local elections as the Tories either won councils or cemented their position with the mayoralties of places like the Tees Valley in the West Midlands. But what was being built from Saturday going into Sunday was that in order to get Labour back on the front foot, there'd be this huge reshuffle, this reorganisation of Keir Starmer's top team. Keir Starmer will be doubling down on his current strategy to make Labour more electable. And it started off on Saturday with the apparent sacking of Angela Rayner. She can't be sacked as deputy leader because that's an elected position, but she lost her job as chair of the chair of the Labour Party. And then we ended up in a situation going into Sunday again. Those around Keir Starmer insisting, Ian Murray came out on LBC and said that this was going to be a significant reshuffle, putting Labour back on the front foot. But as the day grew on, it became apparent that Keir Starmer, Martin, was starting to feel a little bit cautious, a little bit sensitive and worried about who he might offend. And actually we ended up with a very limited reshuffle. So Angela Rayner, having lost her job as chair of the Labour Party, went and took Rachel Reeves' job as the Shadow Cabinet Office Minister. Rachel Reeves
sounds like something a racist would say. Like if he was really flashing a 3 after his 3rd win, why was he flashing a 1 and a 2 after his previous wins, huh? Well, actually, he was. There he is, signaling 1 after his first win, 2 after his second, and 3 after his third. Also, he looks like a sketch from a Saturday Night Live rerun where he should definitely be portrayed by Horatio Sands. I mean, they look like the exact same person. Or if they get really desperate, they can always get the host of Chewing the Fat. And I gotta say, there's some resemblance there. Put those side by side, maybe. Of course, there is a little detail about the racist, okay? Simple. That little detail, is, of course, that it's actually not a racist symbol. It's a minor detail. Care about that sort of thing. It was literally started as a joke to troll the media. I am not kidding you. If you don't know this story, here's one of the targets of the joke, unironically, honestly, somehow, writing about the joke from the New York Times. Quote,
They say he tried to shoot his brother after getting into an argument on the street. Wendy Magranat from Rhode Island was visiting Times Square with her family. A bullet struck Magranat in her thigh, but she managed to hand off her 2-year-old daughter before collapsing.
I really thought I was going to die. I kept saying to my husband, please speak to him, but which is my daughter.
Magranat is now recovering at home. Her daughter was not hurt, but another woman was shot in the foot, and a 4-year-old girl in the crowd was shot in the calf. In Manhattan yesterday, New York Senator Chuck Schumer says it's one more argument toward comprehensive gun reform.
It was a horrible, horrible thing
And it just means that we have to pass strong federal legislation for universal background checks.
Senator Schumer says we have to get crime down in New York City. 7 people are dead after a shooting at a mobile home in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It happened after a birthday party. Police say the gunman walked in, shot 6 people, and then killed himself. Canadian police are searching for the suspects involved in what they say was a gang-related shooting at Vancouver International Airport Sunday afternoon that left 1 man dead. Chief Superintendent Will Ng with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police says the victim was gunned down outside the departure terminal and that the suspects fled in a getaway car firing upon police when they were briefly intercepted.
This generation of gangsters is taking things to another level, which is having no regard whatsoever with community safety.
Ng says no officers were hurt. Israeli police clashed with Palestinian protesters at a Flashpoint Jerusalem holy site today, the latest in a series of confrontations that is rising tensions in the contested city. The latest violence at the mosque compound came after days of mounting tensions between Palestinians and Israeli authorities in the old city of Jerusalem. Global News 24 hours a day, on air and on Bloomberg Quick Take, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr, and this is Bloomberg. John.
Michael, thank you. And it's now 6:09 on Wall Street. That's time for the Bloomberg Sports Update. Here's John Stashower.
Thanks, John. Good weekend for the Mets and Yankees, both playing at home. First place Mets with a sweep of Arizona, who's now lost 10 straight times at Citi Field. The Mets with their second straight 4-2 win, and they now anxiously await MRI results on Jacob deGrom. He got the win yesterday, but left after the 5th inning. Tightness in his right side, the same injury deGrom had a week ago. Yankees with a second straight walk-off win, 3-2 over Washington on a Giancarlo Stanton hit by the 9th inning. Gleyber Torres finally hit his first home run of the season. The Yanks went 7-2 on the homestand. The Knicks' first road win over the Clippers since 2010, 106-100. Derrick Rose 25 points. Reggie Bullock had 24. Julius Randle only 14, but he hit some big shots down the stretch. The Knicks are 3-2 on the trip that ends tomorrow against the Lakers. Rory McIlroy's first career PGA win came in Charlotte. That was 11 years ago. He just won the Royal Hollow for the 3rd time, his first tournament win in 19 months. A week ago, Bob Baffert was basking in the glory of a 7th Kentucky Derby victory. Now the Hall of Fame trainer has been suspended by Churchill Downs, and his horse, Medina Spirit, may have its Derby victory taken away due to an excessive amount of steroid. A steroid, Baffert told WHAS Radio he is innocent.
I'm going to fight it tooth and nails because this horse, you know, I owe it to the horse, I owe it to the owner, and I owe it to our industry. And our industry needs to step up, and we need to do a better job in racing. There's something wrong right now with what's going. I've been talking about it
in the past year now. 5 of Baffert's horses have failed the drug test. John Stashower, Bloomberg Sports. John.
All right, John, thanks a lot. Ahead of the cash open on Wall Street futures right now, they are mixed. NASDAQ E-mini futures 38 points lower. That's down 0.3% right now. The Dow futures up 84 points. That's up 0.2%. And right now the S&P futures 7 points higher, up 0.2. You're listening to Bloomberg Daybreak.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner. Offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Committed to helping keep your facilities safe. And your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car? Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed, so no call for me.
Oh, man, that's why I got me an extended service plan. That way, that blown engine would have cost you nothing to repair.
Hold up. You're saying if I had got that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you want a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, call 800-598-6035 right now to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-598-6035 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. 800-598-6035 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-598-6035. That's 800-598-6035.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right where your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
Why do hedge funds and other alternative managers rely on Pershing for a highly personalized experience? Mark Alderati, Managing Director at BNY Mellon's Pershing and Head of Prime Services, shares how we help you consider everything.
In today's ever-evolving environment, the team at Pershing's Prime Services wants to know, what are you focused on now? Are you confident in the stability of your counterparty? Do you feel they can help you grow your business? When it comes to fundraising, do you have access to the mindset of the advisor or have what you need to navigate the ODD process? Exceptional service for our clients is at the core of what we do. Our award-winning team is just one of the benefits of working with BNY Mellon. Whether it's customized financing or securities lending solutions, BNY Mellon's Pershing is a prime broker who's committed to this business and dedicated to meeting your demands, so you can focus on growing your business and producing results for your clients.
To learn more about the unique and industry-leading solutions for hedge funds and other alternative managers, visit Pershing.com. Pershing LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
The only way to start the morning is with optimism.
The jobs recovery was sluggish. A lot of people agree on that.
Bloomberg Surveillance with Tom Keene, Jonathan Farrow, and Lisa Abramowitz. Finally, we got some of Abramowitz club to get in there.
The ultimate South signal might be when Lisa capitulates.
Bloomberg Surveillance. Must listen, must watch.
Lisa, your data point. Go. Tom, you're great. Never change.
Weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Bloomberg Radio and Bloomberg Television.
Uncertain times making you question your financial future? Burden Accountants and Advisors examines the latest business trends, market conditions, and industry issues to maximize your tax advantages and help you achieve your financial goals. Let Burden serve as your trusted advisor and leverage its more than 100 years of experience to create innovative solutions to help protect you, your family, and your business. Visit BurdenLLP.com. That's BurdenLLP.com. Burden Accountants and Advisors. We listen, we solve, we do.
Influential conversations from Bloomberg Television. Here's Alan Edwards.
Joining us now is Natalie Moll, European Federation of Pharmaceutical Industries and Associations Director General. If I could just quote from one of my colleagues, Lionel Laurent, he says immunisation campaigns are glaringly unequal right now. The wealthiest 27 places in the world account for 10.5% of the population, but 35.6% of vaccinations that have taken place. If we change the rules around IP protection for COVID-19 vaccines, does that get us any way to fixing that imbalance?
Wouldn't it be great if you could do something as simple as that and increase production suddenly from where we are today? Issue today is manufacturing. That's the real bottleneck. The issue today is finding those manufacturing sites. We've already partnered our companies with about 276 manufacturing sites all over the world, including in developing countries, but we need more. And the problem is these manufacturing sites were not set up to produce the kind of vaccines that we're talking about here. So you need a technology transfer from the vaccine company to those. You need training, and then you need to make sure that they have the raw materials in order to ramp up production. So in 5 months, I think we've done incredibly well, but we're not there yet. Let's not forget that we have about a handful of vaccines approved today, but there are still about 20 still in the final phases of testing. So we hope that new vaccines come.
Hear more conversations like this one on Bloomberg Television, streaming live on Bloomberg.com and on the Bloomberg mobile app. Or check your local cable listings.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
And I'm Karen Moscow. This update brought to you by Witham, a forward-thinking advisory and accounting firm offering industry expertise and innovative solutions for your business. Experience the Witham way. Innovative, adaptive, effective, trusted. Visit Witham.com for more. And NASDAQ futures are falling as surging commodity prices stoke concern about whether inflation will derail a growth rebound in the world's largest economy and spoil a record stock rally. We check the markets every 15 minutes throughout the trading day on Bloomberg. Right now, NASDAQ futures are In Germany's down 0.25%. 10-year Treasury down 1/32nd, yield 1.58%. The yield on the 2-year 0.14%. NYMEX crude oil's up 0.5% or 33 cents at $65.23 a barrel. COMEX gold up 1/3%, up $6.80 at 1838.10 an ounce. The euro 1.2166 against the dollar. British pound 1.4095, and the yen 108.77. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now here's Michael Barr with more of what's going on around the world. Michael.
Thank you very much, Darren. The pipeline shutdown that carries gasoline and other fuel from Texas to the Northeast continues. The Biden administration says an all-hands-on-deck effort is underway to restore operations and avoid disruptions due to the cyber attack that led to the shutdown. Medina Spirit's victory in the Kentucky Derby is in serious jeopardy because of a failed post-race drug test. Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert says that Medina Spirit tested positive for an excessive amount of a banned steroid that he denies giving the horse. Runner-up Mandaloun could be declared the winner by the Kentucky State Racing Commission. In Major League Baseball, the Yankees beat the Nationals 3-2. The Mets won. The Red Sox beat the Orioles 4-3. The Giants and A's lost. In the NBA, the Knicks won. The Celtics lost. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Bloomberg Quick Take, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg. John.
All right, Michael, thank you. It is 6:20 on Wall Street, and we're live from the Bloomberg Interactive Brokers Studios. This is Bloomberg Daybreak. Time to check in on the pandemic now, the vaccination effort as well. Joining us is Dr. Gigi Grandval, professor at Johns Hopkins University, Bloomberg School of Public Health. Doctor, thanks for being with us this morning. Can I start off with the comments from Dr. Fauci regarding the study out of the University of Washington showing a severe undercounting of COVID deaths in the U.S. First of all, your take on it. Why is there this disparity?
People are anxious to have this be put behind them, but this virus is going to be with us for some time, and so I can't urge enough to learn about the vaccines and to try and get yourself vaccinated, because there's going to be a time when you're going to get exposed, and the vaccines are very, very safe and extremely effective. So a lot of people have this no pain, no gain approach to their immune system. They think, oh well, I'll just get it and then I'll be really protected. But that's not the case. Your better choice is to get vaccinated so that you're prepared to face the real virus.
Do we have any better sense of just how long this vaccination will protect us?
I think it's probably going to be at least a year or two. The rise of different variants makes that an open question. We've only been dealing with this virus, of course, for not a long time. And so I think it's probably going to end up being a year or two, possibly more, but we'll have to see. We're just experiencing this in real time.
Do you see a scenario developing somewhat like the flu shot, that we get a booster or a completely new vaccine every year?
We'll have to see. I kind of think it's going to be a little bit longer than that, but we'll have to see what the data says. I'm hopeful that this new technology will help us get better flu shots so that we can avoid having to get those every year. But we'll have to see what happens. And this week, of course, is a big week when it's probably going to be the case when 12 to 15-year-olds will be able to get the Pfizer vaccine. So parents should be thinking about that and how they can protect their children.
Yeah, when you refer to new technology, you're talking about the messenger RNA capabilities?
Exactly. It might allow the flu to match better, the vaccine to match better the flu that's circulating, because right now a lot of flu vaccines are actually made in chicken eggs, and it's the process of starting so early to get ready for flu season, but sometimes the wrong guess is made, and we don't have the right vaccine for the right flu.
Yeah, it was fascinating to read about the work by the Nobel Prize winners, including Dr. Jennifer Doudna, I believe I pronounced her name correctly. Just where is this going to take us, do you suppose, in the future? Is it as promising as it does seem?
Yes, it really is amazing. I think we've all kind of checked in on just how much work people have been doing these last decades to make diagnostic tests and to make vaccines better, safer, more protective, and thankfully, this is unlucky and terrible pandemic, but thankfully biotechnology has managed to produce some amazing vaccines.
Doctor, always a pleasure. Appreciate it. Dr. Gigi Granville, a professor at Johns Hopkins University, joining us this morning for the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. And just ahead on Daybreak, a check of the markets where we get the latest in news, economics, and finance. Right now, futures are mixed. The S&P futures 7 points higher. That is up 0.2% right now. And the Dow futures 85 points higher. That's up 0.75%. The Nasdaq E-mini futures right now, they are lower, bucking the trend right now, down 43 points. That is lower by 0.3%. And we also have gasoline futures down over 1%. And you're listening to Bloomberg Daybreak.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Only T-Mobile for Business uses unconventional thinking to help businesses realize new possibilities, like our WFX solutions, enabled by our nationwide 5G network that help teams stay connected and productive where work happens. We also provide an award-winning customer experience and first-class benefits with every plan. Get unmatched network support and value without any trade-offs at T-Mobile.com/unconventional. Capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me. My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide. And we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority.
Startups and research universities like New Jersey Institute of Technology are fueling the innovation economy. And few people are better positioned to see what's on the horizon in New Jersey than physicist and state representative Andrew Zwicker.
How technology is transforming our financial sector is revolutionary, and so much of that is in New Jersey. We are innovators when it comes to agriculture, and there is opportunity now for great transformation in how are we going to grow food in an ever-growing population, and how do we turn urban centers into agricultural centers. Autonomous vehicles is another one where we have some of the world's leading experts, and how this will transform how those who are either elderly